The Ferrari F1 team are getting very used to disappointing seasons, and 2023 was no exception. Despite some promising moments, such as Carlos Sainz's win in Singapore, their inability to catch Hamilton and Mercedes in both championships should be viewed as a failure. However, is it their much maligned strategy decisions that should be blamed? Or is the car at fault? Today, I'll look back at what went wrong for Ferrari in 2023 and what the team are planning to do to change their fortunes in 2024. Ferrari will unveil the Formula 1 car they hope can help them take the fight to world champions Red Bull in 2024 on Tuesday, February 13th. The launch will take place just 8 days before the start of pre-season testing, which runs across 3 days in Bahrain from February 21st to 23rd. They'll be hoping that their new car can turn their fortunes around after 15 years without a title in Formula 1. If they don't win either the drivers' or constructors' title, it'll be their longest drought in F1 history. Their current 15-year wait equals their run from 1984 to 1998 without a title. Expectations were high at Ferrari coming into the season, with the target of winning both championships the stated aim. However, those hopes ended quickly, as for the first half of the year they struggled to even get on the podium. But the second portion of the season proved to be more fruitful, with that famous night in Singapore one that will live long in the memory. As the only non-Red Bull car to win a race in 2023, they did make history, though not for the right reasons. As the season climaxed though, Mercedes' refusal to overturn Carlos Sainz's unjust grid penalty in Las Vegas meant that Ferrari just fell short of what was probably a justly earned second place in the Constructors' Championship. Botched Ferrari strategies are something of a running gag in Formula 1. However, the clown pit wall memes of 2022 seemed fewer and farther between in 2023. After the season, Carlos Sainz said, "I really believe that we didn't lose that many points this year with the strategy. We didn't get it right in some races, yeah, but it wasn't our Achilles heel." While Ferrari didn't make any blunders on the scale of those that dropped Leclerc out of the title race in 2022, they were still far from perfect. And when facing Red Bull, your strategy has to be perfect because you know they won't be making any big errors. In Monaco, Ferrari failed to warn Leclerc that Lando Norris was on a hot lap behind him. Charles's impeding earned him a costly 3-place grid penalty. They then got their pit stop strategy all wrong as the rain came down and should definitely have finished far better than 6th and 8th. They made the same mistakes 2 races later in Canada, failing to inform Carlos Sainz this time of cars behind him in qualifying, and Leclerc wasn't allowed to switch to slicks on the drying track. Ferrari only needed to execute better at one race, and the 3 points they needed for second in the Constructors' Championship could have been theirs. Team principal Fred Vasseur has made changes to help the strategy though, and when comparing 2022 to 2023, it seems like he made the right decisions. He installed Ravin Jain into the role of head of strategy, moving Inaki Rueda out of the firing line. It wasn't just Ferrari's strategy that was to blame though. Things started awfully for Ferrari in Bahrain as Charles Leclerc retired from 3rd place with a control unit problem, which cost him a 10-place grid penalty in Saudi Arabia as well. It was a sign of things to come as Ferrari realized that the SF23 just wasn't up to the task of taking on Red Bull. In an interview with Automotor and Sport, Ferrari's head of technology, Enrico Cardile, spoke about the problems the car had. The 2023 car was an evolution of the 2022 car. We tried to cure some of the weak points of the predecessor. Overall, we achieved our goals. The car behaved on the racetrack as we had developed it, and as the simulations promised. Unfortunately, we quickly realized that our development direction would soon reach its limits. From this moment on, we put the goals of aerodynamic development to the test and, step by step, redirected them in a different direction. You could see a first result at the Spanish Grand Prix with a new underbody and new side pods. This was followed by a second step in the same areas at the Austrian GP. But then we reached the limits of our car's architecture. The existing chassis does not allow us to make certain changes. It is a very similar issue to the one that Mercedes found themselves in 2023. While they were developing and improving what they had, the bones of the car were limiting them. As they developed throughout the season, Ferrari found that while they were improving their lap time, those around them were matching them, and McLaren were improving faster. When a team starts to run out of development potential in a car, but there are others who are still faster than them, the issue has to do with the overarching philosophy of the design. With a brand new car that will apparently be 95% new parts in 2024, Ferrari will once again be aiming for a championship win, as they give themselves more development potential to work with. Of course, development potential, as in how much faster the car can go, is completely theoretical, and the true limit of performance can only be found over the course of the season. Knowing that your current design architecture and philosophy is wrong doesn't mean that you now know what the best alternative is. Something that helped Ferrari recognize that they'd made mistakes in their car philosophy was the revealing of Red Bull's underfloor multiple times during the season. The Red Bull RB19 proved to be an almost unbeatable challenger in F1 in 2023, claiming a remarkable 21 Grand Prix wins out of 22. Rivals, though, were given a treat at the Monaco Grand Prix, when Sergio Perez's stricken RB19 was lifted away after a qualifying crash. Speaking to Automotor and Sport, Ferrari's Aero Chief Cardiel discussed the learnings that his team took from seeing the RB19 flaw, though it is not a simple case of copy and paste. Instead, it must serve as an inspiration for how Ferrari look at their designs. The Red Bull flaw shows that they've gone down a vastly different route to rivals, meaning it will likely not be an easy one to follow. It's part of our job to analyze the cars of our competitors, said Cardiel. So it's one more photo in our database. Even though our cars are different, it was interesting to analyze Red Bull's flaw because they do a lot of things differently from the competition. But to benefit from a photo, you have to look at it with the right glasses. You have to detach yourself from your own car and see the big picture. A one-to-one copy has never worked, and certainly not with these cars, where millimeters can make a big difference. But you can try to understand what they're trying to achieve with these shapes and draw inspiration from them. So what are Ferrari planning to do differently in 2024 to challenge Red Bull? Well, Carlos Sainz has been very clear about what he wants from his team. In 2024, I ask for a car to win, he told DAZN. If we win or not, then let it be what God wants. But I ask for a car to win, and that I can go out to each race thinking I can achieve victory. To achieve that, Ferrari are going to have to make aggressive changes to their car. We already know that they're going to be overhauling their whole car as the current design has reached the end of its development potential. But doing that is far more difficult than just saying it. Ferrari team boss Fred Vasseur believes his team's progress in the second half of the 2023 season was due in part to a more aggressive approach that fostered productive risk-taking. He instilled over the course of the season a mindset that prioritized performance over fear of failure, driving the team forward despite chassis limitations. Vasseur reckons that the shift in mentality yielded more lap time than the actual upgrades themselves, showcasing the power of a fearless and determined approach. When you arrive in this group, you need to understand how the group is working before taking any action or decision, Vasseur explained. The main topic for us, and the biggest improvement we did this season, was more on the approach and the mentality. I think that we took more risk. We were a bit more aggressive, and this played a part. We have to be ambitious and not be scared of any incident or something like this, and I think we did a step on this. With this new, aggressive development style, Carlos Sainz has said, "I'm in the best place on the F1 grid to be an F1 champion without a doubt." Ferrari have a long way to go if they want to be crowned F1 champions again. It isn't just the car that needs fixing, it is a team strategy and their driver errors as well. In Fred Vasseur, though, the team finally has a boss that isn't afraid to change things up, and in 2024, that could make all the difference. What did you think of Ferrari's 2023 season? And have they shown you anything to suggest they can turn things around in 2024? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and until next time, drive safe and bye for now.